Alright YouTube, in this video I'm going to show you how to create social networking website. So this is the part 1 of creation of social networking website. So here we are going to see how to create the module for login, for register, and after register a mail will be sent to the user, and the mail has an activation link. If you click on the activation link and the account will be activated, only you will be able to log in. Only you will be able to log in if your account is activated. If your account is not activated, you won't be able to log in. So let's see the demo first, and we'll see the tutorial. So the very first thing, register user into database. So this is the database. Let's register ourselves. Register.php. Let me give my channel name uimonk@gmail.com, the same way. And if you see, I have added a validation as well. If you click on submit, it won't be submitted. All fields are compulsory. And after submit, you see whatever I have typed, it is already there. Click on submit. It will take some time, and the mail will be sent. Activation mail will be sent to this email address, and it says new member created successfully. And if you check the database, uimonk is there, uimonk@gmail.com, and you can see along with the data a token is also created, and the activated is 0 at present. Now if I check the mail, I'm using localhost, so mailtrap is what I'm using. So this is the email address which we have sent mail to. So to access it, click here, and this is the activation link. If you click on the activation link, and it says your account is successfully activated. By clicking on the link, if you notice, if you click on browse again, and now it is 1. Previously it was 0, and now after click activating, it's 1. Now your account is activated. Now you're able to log in. So let's log in. Login.php with the same thing which we have, with the same email address and password which we have used for register. If I click on submit, it will redirect me to the index.php along with the session created. Redirect. So this is index.php, and with the ID and with the email address your session is created. So the ID is 10 and the email address is uimonk@gmail.com. so you can see these both values, and the session is created. If you click on logout, your session will be destroyed and you will be logged out to the login.php. You will be moved out to the login.php. Now if I try to log in with some other email address which is not at all registered, if you see, this is not registered, 0 is not registered. Let's try to log in with this, and you will get an error. Account is not activated or credential is wrong. So as we already know, this is 0. That means your account is not activated. The same way, I have added some more validation as well. If you try to log in with the email address which is already available, so this is the email address which is already available. If I try to log in with the email address which is already available, it will not allow me. Email already taken. Try with different email. So uimonk1. So now it will allow me. It will take some time, and the mail will be sent, and the data will be inserted on the database. Let's check uimonk1 Vishal cookies, and it is there. And let's check the mail. Let's activate the link. Actually, it is showing text. It should show HTML. I don't know, there is some limitation. It is showing the text. If it shows HTML, if it's the Gmail, it will show the HTML. It's not Gmail, so this is just showing the text. So if you click here, this link will be triggered over here, and it says your account is activated. Now let's check uimonk1. Your account is activated. Now let's try to log in. If you click on submit, you are logged in into the index.php. If I click logout, you are logged out. To check whether your session is registered or not, If you get into index, it will show an error because your session is destroyed after clicking on the logout. Fine, let's follow the tutorial. Now we are going to create a login functionality. Now if you notice, after register, a link will be sent to the email, and after clicking on the link you can see the account is activated. Whose all account is activated, I want only them to be logged in. So for that, okay, let's get in the register. Actually save it as register.php, and we will leave the index as blank. This is index, and let's save this register.php as login.php, and here login, we don't need name. After clicking on submit, it is going to check submit. We don't need name, we don't need date added, we don't need token, and password equal to our pwd, and activated equal to 1. If the query returns more than 0, that means the account is activated. Redirect. Else the account is not activated. Will fill the error message. Account is not activated, or credentials is wrong. Credential are fine. Now if the values are set, or if the value we receive matching with the database, we need to create a session. $_session member_id equal to, and let's create member email, and here with this result underscore fetch underscore array, we'll get this over here on the select. With this row we can get the ID column, and we can get the email column, and once the session is set, I want it to redirect. And over here I want to display $_ inside PHP, Actually it's email. So before doing anything, session underscore start is a function we need to call in whichever page we are using session. Actually session is not yet created, so you should get the error. Fine, we have to get into the login.php. Line 90 there is an error. Control G19 colon semicolon. Fine, now let's let's log in with the one which is already activated. Name, email and password. Click on login. Session should be created and it should redirect to the index.php. On line number 3, unexpected session start. On the index.php, semicolon is missing. Session is not created. Echo let's not try to redirect. Let's see the error. If there is any error, log in with the same. It is giving to the, I think I have not refreshed it. I have commented it. Login.php. Click on submit. I have commented it, then why it is redirecting into the login.php, I don't know. Control Shift R. Yes, it is because login.php. I should have written login.php. It is because of the copy paste error which we just copied from the register.php and passed it to the let's try to echo if it is equal to 1. Click on submit. Nothing issue up. Let's try. I think it is not getting inside this. Let's try. Yep. Let's try to echo this. Not showing up. Yes, it is because of this AND operator. The name is not at all available. And if you see, the data is able to fetch, and let's redirect. And actually it has redirected 9. This is 9 and this is email.php, and let's create a link. Logout.php. If I click on the logout, it should log out. That means it should destroy all the session. Session start, destroy the session, and once you destroy the session, header, location, login.php, and let's correct the same mistake on register.php. It is the action. Fine. Now if I click on logout, I should see the login.php. Destroy spelling is wrong. Semicolon is missing. Here also semicolon missing. Index.php, the name and the session is set. If I click on logout, yes, the session has been destroyed. If you want to see why, how, if you get into the index, see error. That means the session is yet. Now let's try to log in with other thing, David, because this one is also activated. Same email ID, click on submit. Data is logged in, click on logout. Now the session is deleted. To check, create the index and the data is cleared. So let's select the that's all for this mail function. Subject, message. So here we have to give proper path, which is social network. Inside social network we have activate, and we are passing this token. Fine. Now let's try with new name. And don't forget to remove this. I'll do it. Fine. Now the first thing what I'm going to do is, let me get into the index file. Let me create an account and give an email, david.com, sorry, david@gmail.com, and let me give the same password to it. And the mail would be sent to mailtrap.io. Let me log in and show you. So in the inbox, it was 2 months earlier. Now if I click on submit, it should take some time and the mail will be sent to the mailtrap.io. Since I am using localhost, I am using this third-party property thing. New member created successfully. Click on browse. Data will be added. The same ID, if you notice, 4427, which you can see a few seconds ago. You got a mail 4427. So we have a limitation. If you enter this into a URL and click on submit, the token should get updated. Actually on the social network we don't have activate.php. The spelling is mistake. Activate. Click on submit again. Undefined index $token on line number 7. Control O, open the activate.php. On line number 7 it says this is undefined. Actually it should come token. Now let's record updated successfully. Now we should see previously it is 0, now we should see 1. That means our account is activated. If you want me to try again, I can do it, and before that let me clear this values after insertion. Fine, let's refresh again and start again. John @gmail.com, the same name. Click on submit. It should take some time and it should send the values to the mail as well as to the database. It says new record successfully created, and if you notice the values we have entered disappeared. Now let's click on browse. If you see John, the data John is inserted, and this is the activation link, or you can say this is a token, and the activated is 0 at present. So let's get it to the mail. We got a mail naming John. Let's copy this and paste it in over here. Click on submit. New record updated successfully. Click on browse and you can see 1. Instead of new record updated successfully, you can give a message as well. Your account is active. Your account activated successfully. Click on submit. You can see account activated successfully. Now, so here we have a problem. That means if I try to log in with if I try to register the same email ID twice, it is allowing me. So that should not be the case. So what we are going to do is, so before inserting, I would like to add a check. That means if this email is already accessed in the database, then I don't want to show it. Fine. Now, so for that we need a select tag. Fine, we are in the select data, and here we are going to use num rows as well. Select all from database, from table register, where email equal to our email. Variables are same. If this returns 1, if it returns more than 1, that means error, email already taken. You cannot try with email, else insert it. Let's try adding the same email for the third time. Name, email address, and password, anything. Click on submit. Undefined variable result. Fine. Then line 18. Fine, let's check again. Not an issue. Any name, Anyway, it is not going to save because email is same. Email already taken. Try with different email. Let's try whether it is inserted or not. Previous data was inserted. Now let's try among 2, and this is the email. I'm doing it for the 4th time. It should not allow me. Click on submit. among 2. If you see, among 2 is not available. That means this data, if email already exists, then don't save into database. Fine, it is not saving into database for the 3rd time. Let me remove these 2 because it has same email ID, and these as well. This email is already taken. If I click on submit, it should and it should neither save it here. It is not also saving here. Fine. Now if I try with Vishal 2, and now it should save because the email is different now. Fine, it is working. Then one more requirement, which is after submit, show the values. So you see, this one field is blank, and if I click on submit, the data is not going to save, but these field data will get disappear. If I click on submit, if you notice, the field data got disappear. So for that we have to write one thing. We have to write attribute again, value, if again it's a PHP value, set $name. If it is set, then display the name, else nothing. Let's add echo here and let's try. Type something, make this blank, and if I click on submit, the UIMonk, yes, it is staying. If I click on submit, the UIMonk should stay. And the same way, let's add this for email and let's add this for password. Let's try. If I type this and type this as well, .com, and click on submit, the UIMonk should stay. Fine, the UIMonk is staying. Email, and let's see the variable password. Yes, it is pw. Fine, that should work. But we have an issue. Here it's email, here it's password. Fine. Now let's add one more functionality, that is after register, send verification email to activate account. So for that we have to create 2 more columns. The first one is token, which is going to be varchar 200 and then activated. This is going to be enum 0 1. Click on save. Actually I should add a modify that. Click on structure, click on activate, change default as defined. Default is going to be 0. And now after inserting, what I want is I want to create a encryption $token equal to MD5 of the variable name, and we are passing it for insertion token, comma, token is also sent for insertion. Now let's try. gmail.com, the same for password. Click on submit. Click on submit. New member created successfully, and if you see, the token is also created. Now we want to send the email after insertion. So for that, we have to create header, to, and message, and let's create another file called activate.php, and here we are going to update it. Control F. This thing we can fetch from the config file. Let's include the config file on the activate. Update the table. We want to set which is activated equal to 1, where token equal to, we will get the token from the get request. If is set $token, actually it's not $_request, it's not a variable, it's a string, and save it into a PHP variable called $token, and if this is set, then only insert it. Fine. Now what we have to do is we have to create a link, and in that link we have to pass a token, and once I click on the link, and that link should get into the activate.php, and it should update activated equal to 1. So let's work on, so let's send a database at a table. So the first thing, I have created a database called social network. Let's click on the social network and create a column. So let's create a table name. The table name is going to be register, and the number of column is going to be 4. Click on go, and let's save the table name as well. we need ID, we need name, we need email, we need password, we need one more thing, which is date underscore added varchar 200 200. Why don't we add date and time, and we want to make this ID as a primary key. So for that, auto increment, if you click auto increment, it will be auto saved as primary key. Click on go. Let's put on the table name, column name, ID, name, email, password, added. Fine. Now these all things are fixed. Now let's create a folder name on our htdocs. So why htdocs? Once whatever we create a folder, it can access as a website in the browser. So localhost social underscore network. This is a folder which I have created. Click on enter. Social hyphen, why don't we make social underscore? Now it should load. At present it is blank. Let's create a file. Let's create some folder first. We need images, we need a inc. So far it's okay. Now let's create another file and save it as header.php inside inc. New file, footer.php, again in inc. I think we have pasted in a wrong folder. Get into the htdocs. It's not saved properly. Save as htdocs social network inc, save, and header also save as, control shift s for save as, htdocs social network inc, save. And again we need index.php, which will have all our sign up forms, sign up data. So here in this page, in the index.php, I'm going to create some forms. So I'm going to use the bootstrap. So let me get into the W3 School. Try it yourself and you'll get a CDN for that. Paste it on the header. Now your theme is ready to go. Let's create a container div. So whatever is there in just above the container, paste it in the header, and whatever is there below, paste it in the footer, and we'll include them in the header. Call the PHP include. We are passing as a string inc header.php. The same way footer.php, and then let's add a h1 hello world. Refresh it, you'll see the index page. Control U, you should see the h1 surrounded with the container tag, and yep, as we thought, and it is working. Whatever we write inside, it will be displayed inside the container. Fine. Now let's create another file called config.php, which will hold our database values. So let's include the config as well. We have not created anything, so let's create a form. Let's get into the W3 school again. And let's pin this. It will be useful for us. Copy the whole section, just paste it, and remove what are not relevant for you. We need email and we need name as well. Copy it, paste it, name, and the input type is going to be text, and the ID is name. Instead of ID, I need a name attribute. Fine. Now the form action, I'm going to make it as blank, and method is going to be post. Now if I show you, this is how it looks. So let's create a div and let's have margin top of 5. Let's have this form inside, and if you want you can add a call 6. So let's add an h1 with class text center and register yourself. Autocomplete off. So this is Chrome, it won't let us do that. Fine, that's not an issue. And let's have the name as well for the submit button. So if you see, we have a name submit, name is set for all the fields. So now it's time for the PHP insertion. So here these are some common values. Let's paste it in the config.php. So don't forget to add PHP code. Username is going to be root and password is going to be null. And as you know, I have created a database name social network. Fine, like we have included it. Now let's directly jump into the PHP code. If is set if the name is set $_ request, it's an array, associative array. If this is set, then get the insert in get the input field name and store it into a variable called name. In the same way, email password if name is not empty, or likewise email is not empty, password is not empty. For not, we need to add exclamatory sign. If these things are not empty, then only insert, else show the error message all fields are compulsory. And on page start, I want this error variable to be null. The same way, let's add the success variable also. So just about the register yourself, we'll add error and we'll add success. Fine. Now on line 8 there is an error. Let's see what it is. Semicolon is missing. Fine. Now if these values are empty, we click on submit. Click on submit. Something is happening. Let's add household colon void. So let's try to echo $name. Click on submit. Let's get into the console to check whether there's an error available or not. We don't get any error. And what I did is, instead of JavaScript colon void, I just pass the same file name. And now if I insert, if I left these two values and click on submit, I have, let me check again, @gmail.com. I should get a validation saying all fields are compulsory. Now I cannot see that. Well, let's try to show the inserted values. Click on submit. @gmail.com. Click on submit. You should see, you should get all the values. Fine, we are getting all the values. Now let's write this inside here and let's check. Click on submit. Yep, now this is the perfect place to write the insert query. So insert into our table name. So the columns are name, email, password, date added, pass the name, pass the email, pass the password, and date added dollar equal to date function y-m-t. So let's pass it as the fourth parameter. So this will give you the current time or date. Now let's check the database first whether it is blank or not. If you see, it is blank. Now let's try to insert. On line 12, I believe it's a semicolon. Click on submit. Line number 10, Actually it should be a string. Now let's check whether there is data inserted or not. Data is inserted. Let's try to insert with my name. Click on submit. New record created, and if you see, it has been properly inserted. Now what we need is, we just want to show the success message. New member created successfully, and on the error I want to show this. So click on submit. New member created successfully. I click submit. Again you return data. This should not be the case. If you see, name is blank, so this is not working. Let me see why. Here there should be and. Let's make it blank. Let's make that name blank. Click on submit. All fields are compulsory. So Agnel won't be saved now. If you see, Agnel is not saved. So without name, let me try submit. Again, all fields are compulsory. Refresh. It is not saved. Fine, it is working. So our first part is ready. We can register ourselves into the database.